YouTube. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Mothman. I'm going to go into a little history about the Mothman, and I am pretty sure that I have found the solution to everybody's Mothman problem. Most people know about the Mothman because of the Mothman Prophecies, a book written by journalist and author John Keel and later turned into a movie starring Richard Gere. The book and movie connect the Mothman to the townspeople of Point Pleasant having psychic abilities and the collapse of their Silver Bridge. In West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a creature reportedly seen in Point Pleasant area from November 1966 to December 1967, with new sightings happening all the time. Conversely, Joe Nichols says that a number of hoaxes followed the publicity generated by the original reports, such as a group of construction workers who tied flashlights to helium balloons. Nichols attributes the Mothman reports to pranks, misidentified planes, and sightings of a barred owl, suggesting that the Mothman's glowing eyes were actually just a red eye effect. Some claims that the Mothman was an alien, a supernatural manifestation, or a previously unknown species of animal. In his 1975 book, John Keel claimed that the Point Pleasant residents experienced precognitions, including premonitions of the collapse of Silver Bridge, UFOs, visits from inhuman or threatening men in black, and other related phenomenon. Like any good legend, Mothman continues to make guest appearances out of town. In 2006, a handful of people in La Crosse, Wisconsin reported sighting a similar creature, which they dubbed the Man-Bat. The creature, long with a large wingspan and yellow eyes, reportedly flew over a car of a man and his son, both of who became sick feeling in their stomachs afterwards. Often, most of the attacks happen at night. Mothman has become a huge favorite, even making appearances in Fallout 76. And in Point Pleasant, the world's only Mothman museum exists, complete with flying Mothmans inside. Point Pleasant throws a Mothman festival every year where they discuss the 13 months that changed history. So when we look at sketches made by actual people who have sighted Mothman, what does it look like to us? True pictures have supposedly been taken of the Mothman, which appears to show him flying above Point Pleasant. Mothman has been sighted all over the world, especially before disasters. Recently, March 19, 2019, an article appeared where a woman reported sinister monster-like growlings in Woodstock, Illinois, that were similar to those made by the Mothman. As strange as this will sound, the best way to describe the noise would be like a creature sound from a movie. Not howling, more sinister, demon-like, monster-like, she explained. The sound I heard happened twice, and then it stopped. I sat up in bed and I didn't move. I made sure I was fully awake, and I knew it was coming a distance away from our building, about 1:30 in the morning, and I looked at the clock. The woman Lisa and her husband live near the western edge of town just south of Bates Park. Less than 2 miles southeast is Dewfield Pond Conservation Area, the site of a February 22nd encounter with a large winged being covered in fur. Another sighting reportedly occurred less than 2 weeks later on Rose Farm Road in Woodstock. This is the latest news in a string of flying creatures right now from within a few hundred miles radius surrounding Lake Michigan, including every state bordering the Great Lake. But more historical accounts are being reported as more people become aware of the phenomenon. They generally take place in the evening or at night. They're often in or near a park or around water. Witnesses consistently describe a large gray or black-like bird-like creature, although in small numbers of cases the creature was described as being a little insect-like, sometimes with glowing or reflective red, yellow, or orange eyes, and humanoid features. It seems to have arms or some kinds of legs that are often reported. Many of the sightings are also of something seen only briefly and are described only as a flying creature with few details, which leaves open the possibility that it could be a large bird or bird-like being. Or at least this could explain some of the encounters. The TNT Cave in Point Pleasant is believed to be the home of the Mothman, which brings me to something that happened in Germany in 1978, very similar but countries away. On September 10th, 1978, a group of miners in Freiburg, Germany came face to face with a seemingly headless creature with glowing red eyes on its chest, blocking the mine's entrance. At first they thought it was a man in a trench coat, but they quickly realized this wasn't a coat, but unfurled large wings. The men remained at the main entrance, stunned and staring at the creature until it let out a blood-curdling screech that sent the miners scrambling out. About an hour later, the men felt a seismic rumble and they witnessed a plume of dust shoot from the mine as the mine collapsed. If the men had gone into their stations in the mine as usual, the majority of them would have died. What they dubbed the Freiburg Shrieker had saved their lives. So I want to introduce you to Potus are a group of near-passerine bird related to nightjars and frogmouths. They're sometimes called poor me ones after the haunting calls that they make. They make both growling calls and loud, melancholy sound. This is the sound of a great Potu. They stay in their areas year-round, without much migration. Potus are most often found in Central and South America along the Amazon basin, but these birds have been found around the world too. Potu fossils have been found in France and Germany, and date back some 40 million years. Potus are large nocturnal birds, and they're remarkably cryptic as they perch motionless with their eyes closed on their day roosts. They do not move at all during the day. Their loud, eerie, nocturnal vocalizations are often the best clue to their presence. Common Potu's eyes are yellow, but at night, they turn orange. Finally, the great Potu is paler than other Potus, with very fine, sparse, dusky barring. There are 7 different known species of Potu, and some of them look quite different. The 2 most common being the great Potu and the common Potu. A mom and baby sitting together definitely look like some sort of alien moth. With its characteristic, drawn-out, moaning growl, the vocalizations of the great Potu are among the most exciting and perhaps most unsettling nocturnal sounds in neotropics. Apart from its vocalizations, the great Potu is an intriguing species. It feeds on large flying insects, occasionally bats and birds, which they capture from very high perches. During the day, they remain motionless, and they mimic broken tree branches. The great Potu is distributed throughout humid and semi-humid forest habitats. Across this vast region, there is a little geographic variation in the size and plumage of the birds. Like the great Potu, the common Potu has a distinct vocal call as well, but its vocalizations are more melancholy. Also reported in the Mothman cases. Potus are nocturnal creatures, like I said before. That means they are most active during the nighttime, and they're usually asleep and holding still during the day. All of their hunting is done under the cover of night once it gets dark. The second is their wide mouths, which open to almost twice the size of their face. This guy, he definitely looks like a monster. Because they're exceptional at camouflaging themselves, their marbled gray and brown feathers blend in perfectly with tree bark. You'll never see them. A picture was captured at Point Pleasant just before the bridge fell of something they said was Mothman sitting up on top of the bridge. However, when I look at these pictures, and I look at the pictures of the great Potu sitting with its baby in a tree. So again, take a look at this documented picture of Mothman from Point Pleasant, and then take a look at this beautiful great Potu flying through the sky as well. How big is a great Potu though? Well, they're reliant on trees, however, for perching and camouflaging. The great Potu is a very large bird, usually 19 to 24 inches in length, and weighing up to 1.4 pounds. However, they have been found to be much larger. You can also hear the whoosh of its wings, just like people reported when they saw the Mothman. And looking at these sketches by people who have seen the Mothman, they're almost identical to nighttime pictures of the Great Potu. Can't definitely say this accounts for all sightings of the Mothman. I feel very, very confident that this is at least part of the time what people are seeing. It is a huge bird that pretty much nobody has heard of, looks like a Muppet, has been found in different areas of the world where trees and forestry areas are. This bird sits in trees all day, so you would never see it during the day. It swoops down from the trees at night, so it would appear that it was coming after you if you were driving in a car with your son. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. I really, really do think that this is the answer for a large majority of the Mothman sightings. And to me, it's just as magical. This bird is real. It exists. It is amazing. And it reminds me of how amazing our world is every single day.